Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, one thing that I think has changed, that it's really amazing that we've discovered that there can be some wonderful trout fishing at this time of the year. I think so many anglers, they never even consider this. And I know today as I'm speaking to you, my buddy Rust has gone up to the sort of at the source of the Grass River where there's been reports of some really good brook trout fishing. You know, we never considered being able to go trout fishing this time of the year. And I think it's wonderful that we have this added opportunity. You know, I can tell you that one of the things that is sort of a detriment to fishing trout along our streams in the springtime when the fishing is so wonderful is that you have the tremendous insect scourge that takes place, the black flies and so forth that you got to go through. That's one thing that you won't have now. Now you can fish these rivers like the Chateauguay River and the Salmon River and perhaps even the St. Regis River and experience some great fall fishing that you never thought you could have in trout fishing. So it's something to think about. The one thing that I can caution is this time of year can be really dangerous along our waterways for ground bee infestation. You know, if you walk along and you disturb a nest of bees in the ground, they will come up and they will attack you. Like, you know, there's been reports on TV about a group of school kids that disturbed a ground bee's nest, and these kids got stung. Fortunately, none of them were dramatically allergic to bee stings like some of us are. But I'll tell you, that's something you always have to be aware of right now this time of the year is you walk along the shoreline. If you disturb a nest of these ground bees, it can be horrendous. I remember one year when I was doing a rod and reel streamside show along the Deer River, and I knew this section. I wanted to show how great the fishing could be. And back in those days, we didn't have batteries and cameras like we do today where we can capture every second of the fishing experience. I knew that this would be special if I could show people walking down to the bank, casting out. I knew where this stump was in the water where there were walleyes right along next to that stump. I knew they were there, and I wanted to be able to capture walking down and casting in and catching that fish on the first cast. And so as I walked down over the bank, I didn't know that there was a bee's nest in the ground. And I stepped on that, and up these bees came, and oh my gosh. And I took off running in the field that was along there. And I was only in my late 30s at this time, and I could run. I ran every day. And these bees caught me, and they stung my face. And oh, God, I was so infected by that. And my cameraman wanted to take me to the Meissner hospital immediately because he knew I was allergic. And I said, no, let's just see what happened. Well, I survived that first half hour that is so critical. And by the end of the day, you wouldn't even, I saw myself on film and I thought, oh my gosh, I look like a monster. My face was so swollen up. So this is my story of ground bees. And I've always tried to be careful since then as I walk along the shoreline, because this can be really dangerous. They'll follow you for miles if they have to until they can sting you. Just remember this. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.